Hello and welcome, or should I say ciao e benvenuti a Bologna Centrale, Bologna Central Station. Today we're taking an overnight ride with Nightjet to Vienna, but this isn't just any night train journey. Tonight we're stepping on board the brand new generation of Nightjet sleepers. These trains promise to redefine what it means to travel overnight by rail in Europe, offering modern comfort, privacy, and style, all while gliding through the heart of the continent as we sleep. So is this the future of night trains? Let's find out. Our journey begins at Bologna Centrale, the central hub for rail transit in the city of Bologna and the 5th busiest railway station in Italy. Opened in 1934, Bologna Centrale serves a variety of intercity services from Trenitalia, high-speed services from Trenitalia and Italo, and international trains from ÖBB, Deutsche Bahn, and the Venice Simplon Orient Express. Passing through the central arches, we enter the station hall. It's a rather unassuming space with a large Trenitalia ticketing desk, ticket machines for Italo and Trenitalia, and the departure board. A look up at the board shows our train, the ÖBB Nightjet to Vienna, is set for an on-time departure from Track 9. Dipping into the pedestrian tunnel, we head over to Track 9 and ascend back to platform level. Despite the late departure time for our train, there's still plenty of railway action to see. Regional trains come and go, and ÖBB Railjet pulling in on Track 11. This is actually one of Railjet's new Railjet 2.0 train sets. These new trains are based on the same platform as the Nightjet train we're about to board, having entered service in March of 2024. While we won't get to see the new Railjets today, we will catch a ride on one of the previous generations in business class from Vienna to Munich in a future video. The quiet of the Bologna night is broken as Nightjet train 4294 pulls in. In the lead of our overnight service is one of ÖBB's Taurus locomotives, behind which is our Nightjet new generation train set. We're traveling today in car 431, room 4, one of 2 sleeping cars on the new generation trains. While I only have berth 41 booked, the entire room is ours to enjoy, having paid for a solo occupancy room. Due to some confusion upon boarding, our room is locked when we arrive. While waiting for the train attendant, our train begins to roll out of Bologna, beginning our 10-hour and 10-minute ride to Vienna. The train attendant finally makes his way down to our car, unlocks our room, and we can step inside. And here's our hotel room on the rails, one of Nightjet's sleeper cabins. The new cabins include 2 beds, a seating area, table, and combination bathroom and shower. I gotta say, I love the look of these new rooms. They're cozy and modern with a next-generation take on the sleeper theme. An amenity bag is set out for us when we arrive, inside of which we find a mix of goodies. There's a bottle of water, slippers, earplugs, an eye mask, tutti frutti candy, a nut and seed mix, and a pen for filling out the breakfast menu. There's also supposed to be a small bottle of sparkling wine, but that must have been forgotten after the room access confusion. Speaking of the breakfast menu, we need to put in our order. Sleeper cabins are allowed 6 options from the breakfast menu, which includes a mix of food and beverages. I chose a cup of coffee and a mix of food from the menu before handing it off to our attendant. Breakfast will be delivered when we wake up tomorrow. We'll do a proper tour of the room tomorrow, but right now it's time for bed. Getting comfortable in the lower bunk, it's lights out for a good night's rest. 7 hours of sleep later, and we're awoken by the subtle glow of light from beyond the curtain, and my alarm. It's just past 6:30 a.m. and our train is now firmly in Austria. I've chosen to wake up early as our train is about to traverse the Semmeringbahn, the first mountain railway ever built in Europe. Rolling up the blind, the Austrian mountains greet us with open arms. It's a gorgeous morning, the high sun and light blue sky hanging over the lush green valleys of the Eastern Alps. Built between 1848 and 1854, the Semmeringbahn is, as mentioned, the first mountain railway built in Europe. The line covers 41 kilometers with an elevation change of 460 meters, 60% of which sees a gradient of 2 to 2.5%, or 1 meter elevation per 40 meters of track. And it's easy to see why such steep gradients are required. There are mountains everywhere, and while they're a headache for railway engineers, they're heaven for those on the train. Turning our attention away from the scenery outside, we can focus on our new Nightjet sleeper. The new generation Nightjet trains were launched in 2023 to replace Nightjet's aging fleet of night trains. Manufactured by Siemens, the new trains are semi-permanently coupled, non-powered multiple units, capable of traveling at 140 miles an hour. The Austrian Railways ordered 24 7-car Nightjet 2.0 trains in parallel with 40 9-car Railjet 2.0s as a part of their fleet renewal plan. Sleeper cabins are the largest private sleeping accommodation with space for 2 passengers. Each room is accessed using a keycard provided upon boarding with a deadbolt when inside. The rooms are divided into the 3 S's of travel: sleeping, sitting, and of course, the bathroom. Sleeping is of course the most important part of a sleeper cabin. The 2 bunks face the direction of travel, a permanent ladder built into the wall of the bathroom, giving access to the top bunk. Each bunk comes with 2 pillows, sheets, and a comforter. At the head of the lower bunk is a wireless charging pad, outlet and USB port for charging, a pocket with a magazine and breakfast menu, and a reading light. The upper bunk includes the same bedding, the pocket and charging area moved to the foot of the bed, and air vents found in the ceiling. There is no window for the upper bunk as the wall has to curve in to meet the roof of the car. There is at least a small cutout with an LED strip to illuminate the space so it's not as dark, but a window up here would have been nice. The sitting area is formed of 1 permanent chair and a table. Padding wraps around the wall to form the seat back, an LED strip built into the top, and a trash can built into the seat base. The table is pretty basic with a couple of spots for cups. Should you want another seat or space for a smaller bunk for a child, the table can be lowered, the spare cushion placed on top. The private bathroom is one of the best aspects of having a private cabin. It's a small facility but includes all you need in a bathroom. Inside you'll find a toilet, a sink with adjustable temperature, soap, and a large mirror with a storage shelf. Now, this is also a shower, but how? Well, it's actually this sprayer behind the soap dispenser. The shower pulls up with a flexible hose, slotting into a bracket above the open space. It's an interesting take on the shower problem and works well for such a confined space. The walls of the room and the train as a whole feature a dotted decal depicting the landscapes of Austria. It's a nice minimalist touch that brings a bit of character to the otherwise blank rooms. The cabins are spacious and comfortable, but are they affordable? Well, our solo ticket today cost about €350 or $415 for a non-flexible ticket. For a good night's sleep, a private bathroom, and transit from Bologna to Vienna, it is worth it. But with these new trains, there came a new travel class, mini cabins, which cost around €100. We'll have a look at those here in a bit to get an idea of what they're like. The rest of the car features little else in the way of passenger amenities. In the vestibules, you'll find passenger information screens showing the next stations in English, Italian, and German, with windows lining the hall for some natural light. At the rear of our car, we find a new addition. Another train. Overnight, the Nightjet service from Milan was coupled onto our service from Florence to travel as one on to Vienna. Breakfast is served as we watch the mountains roll past. For breakfast today, I went with the bread rolls, ham, natural fresh cheese, fruit yogurt, and muesli with a coffee to drink. Many of the food items are just things to eat with the bread rolls, with the more filling options being the rolls themselves and the 2 yogurt options. I was hoping for more than 2 pieces of ham and a small package of cheese for the choices, but the yogurts are tasty and their rolls are crispy and light. The coffee is okay. It's definitely prepackaged coffee of some kind, but it's coffee and that's just what I need. The scenic views of the Semmeringbahn continue as we enjoy our breakfast. Our train curves into view ahead as we traverse the Katalina Viaduct, the largest viaduct on the Semmeringbahn. With the mountains now behind us, let's take a walk through the rest of the train. The next car down is the first of 3 couchette cars. The standard couchette includes 4 bunks with a single table and a small amount of storage per passenger. It's what you'd expect from a couchette, just with a modern coat of paint. It's what's in the rest of the car that's really interesting, the sleeper pods. The pods, or mini cabins as Nightjet calls them, are solo occupancy capsule hotel style rooms. Each room comes with a pillow, sheet, and blanket for getting a good night's rest. The mini cabins are surprisingly spacious. At 6'3", I wasn't expecting much in the way of comfort, but I've got a couple inches of space at my head and feet. There's around 90 centimeters of headroom in each cabin, which is enough to sit up in for smaller passengers. A door slides shut around the foot of the bed, the door unlocked with a key card found inside. At the head of the bed, passengers will find all of their amenities. There's an outlet and USB port, reading light, air vents, small storage pocket, a window with shade and blackout blind, and light and color controls. For pairs wanting to travel in the mini cabins, adjacent cabins can be connected by unlocking the divider on both sides. There's also a wireless charging pad by the head of the bed, which I didn't notice until editing this video. A table with a mirror slides along the side of the room, folding down across the bunk for when it's time to eat. And eat you will, as many cabins are also provided a complimentary breakfast. Luggage storage is provided by 2 lockers, one for shoes and one for hand luggage. Scanning the room's keycard unlocks the lockers, a light indicating the status of each. The shoe locker is large enough for winter boots, while the hand luggage locker is listed as 40 by 55 by 23 centimeters, spacious enough for most backpacks. Larger suitcases can be stored in the multifunction car at the head end of the train. Luggage is secured using the locks provided, which can only be unlocked using the keycard. As is the case with traditional couchette cars, shared bathrooms are found at the end of each car. There are 2 per car, each including the usual suite of toilet and sink. Mini cabins are an excellent way to get that private sleeper train experience while only paying €100. Sometimes you can find them for even less if you book far enough in advance. To the train are the seated cars. There's only one full seated car, with the second being a multifunction car with luggage storage, seating, and the accessible cabin. The seated cars are fairly standard. Each row gets a comfortable amount of legroom with plush seats, winged headrests, and generous recline. Ticket price is the best feature of the seated cars. For the journey from Bologna to Vienna, a seated car cost as low as €45, which for an overnight journey is a steal. The 3 classes of travel on Nightjet vary quite a bit, but so too do their ticket prices. For those wanting the all-inclusive experience, sleeper cabins are the way to go. If you want to save a bit and still have a private bed, then take a mini cabin. Or if you just want to get where you're going in the cheapest way possible, then snag a seated ticket. Nightjet really has a ticket for everyone. The serene running transitions to the urban landscape of Vienna as we approach the city center. Nightjet's next-generation trains are great. The modern amenities paired with comfortable sleeping arrangements makes these a great way to travel across Europe. Hopefully we see more of these new trains out on the rails. And there's an entirely real possibility we see a similar version in the United States in the coming years. Amtrak is currently looking for a replacement for its long-distance fleet, and with all of Siemens' activity in the US with Amtrak and Brightline, I wouldn't be surprised if Siemens lands that contract as well. Amtrak has said that they're looking for a bi-level fleet, so maybe we see a bi-level version of the Nightjet 2.0 trains, but only time will tell. With our journey now at an end, we can head down into Vienna Hauptbahnhof, where we'll bring today's video to a close. Next week, we're taking to the skies, flying from Seoul, South Korea to Detroit, Michigan in Delta Premium Select. Anyways, if you're new around here, I would really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button down below. It's totally free, and it really helps support the channel. I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to my loyal patrons and members. Y'all are amazing and your incredible generosity is greatly appreciated. If you too want your name in the video or just want to support the channel in more ways than one, then head on over to the links in the description below. But anyways, that's all I have for today. Thanks for riding with me, and I'll see you in the next one.